What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Saturday, August 3rd, 2024, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now, it is 13:16 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from the Middle East. I wanted to update you on the situation between Israel and Iran. So, today, an Iranian politician by the name of Ahmed Ardestani said that Iran has nuclear weapons. He said, quote, "We have obtained nuclear weapons, but we do not announce it." So that is very, very concerning. And yesterday, Lindsey Graham introduced legislation that would authorize the president to use military force to denuclearize Iran. Okay, so this is very, very serious. The supreme leader of Iran, the Ayatollah Khamenei, posted this on Twitter July the 31st. This was just on Wednesday. He wrote, "Following this bitter, tragic event which has taken place within the borders of the Islamic Republic, it is our duty to take revenge." Okay, so this is definitely going to happen. And I think what we saw in April is nothing compared to what's going to happen in the coming hours or days. And I am doing 24/7 live coverage. I have the live stream up right now with flight trackers, with emergency action messages and radios in the background so you can listen to our nuclear forces. And I also have some live cameras as well. I'm working on getting live cameras from Israel. We'll see if I'll be able to do that or not. But guys, this is going to be very, very serious. It does appear that Iran is planning a massive attack that could involve thousands of missiles, including attacks simultaneously with Hezbollah, the Houthis, and various Iranian proxies. They could also target American bases in the region. We're hearing that Iran is going to target cities and civilian areas this time. So this could escalate, okay? Israel may respond back with another massive strike of their own, or the US and Israel may just decide to denuclearize Iran, especially after this Iranian politician blurted out that we have obtained nuclear weapons, but we do not announce it. So this is very, very serious, guys. I think we are the closest we've ever been to World War III and nuclear war in the history of mankind, okay? And it's only going to escalate from here on out, because if Iran does this massive strike on Israel with thousands of missiles, do you think Israel's just going to sit back and do nothing about it? You know, the first time when Iran launched over 100 missiles and 200 drones, that was just the first time. So I think Israel kind of just let it pass. And the Biden administration talked them out of responding back. And that was the critical mistake, because the Biden administration thought that by not responding back, it would prevent escalation, but it's actually causing escalation now, because Israel didn't respond strongly enough in April. And now Iran feels like Israel's not going to respond back to these strikes, so they feel like they can do them without any serious punishment. Because the first time around, if you remember, the Biden administration said, well, we don't need to strike back. You know, we intercepted every single missile, so, you know, really Israel shouldn't have to strike back, and that would prevent escalation. And so the Biden administration thought that they were the heroes, but look what's happening now. Okay, now Iran knows that Israel and the US are afraid of escalation, and they're not going to respond properly. So that's why they're going to do this big strike now. Okay, we currently have US nuclear forces on high alert. We have 3 Boeing E-6 Mercuries up in the air. These are nuclear war command and control planes. They're responsible for communicating with our submerged nuclear armed submarines. They can issue the emergency war order if necessary. That's the order to launch. And then they can also send out what are known as emergency action messages, which are nuclear attack options. So they're very, very important to our nuclear forces because this is how our nuclear forces would communicate if ground-based communication systems fail. They would use these planes to transmit codes to our subs, okay? So these planes are absolutely essential. There's 3 of them in the air right now, one in Southern California, one over Tennessee, one off the coast of Long Island, and then we also have a doomsday plane, a presidential doomsday plane that was flying with its transponder off over Kansas, and it just reappeared, and it is now flying low. We also have a VIP plane that went from DC to Scott Airfield in Illinois. Now, this VIP plane was a U.S. Air Force VIP plane, so probably some kind of Air Force general going to Scott Field, and Scott Field is a very critical air base. And here we have a strategic aerial refueler operating off the coast of Virginia Beach, and it's probably refueling sub hunters or maybe fighter jets or something else. Who knows? This update was sponsored by My Patriot Supply. Guys, My Patriot Supply has brought back their 25% discount on their 3-month emergency food supply. And to get the discount, you got to use the link preparewithNYPrepper.com. And the link is in the description below this video. But this 3-month emergency food supply has a 25-year shelf life. It includes over 2,000 calories per day, breakfasts, lunches, dinners, drinks, and snacks, all contained within 6 rugged water-resistant buckets, and free shipping is included. So use the link preparewithNYPrepper.com to get $200 off or 25% off of the My Patriot Supply 3-month emergency food supply. The link is in the description below this video. Free shipping is included. They also have a general store where they sell all kinds of prepping and survival products, and they're always running various discounts. And to get to their general store, you just got to click on the My Patriot Supply logo when you get to preparewithNYPrepper.com at the top of the page, and you'll see their general store where they sell all kinds of prepping and survival products, and they're always running discounts here. So use the link preparewithNYPrepper.com to get 25% off of the My Patriot Supply 3-month emergency food supply, and the link is in the description below this video. And here we have a nuclear war command and control plane that went to Colorado Springs last night, which is very unusual, okay? They usually don't go to Colorado Springs. Colorado Springs is where the Doomsday Bunker is, Cheyenne Mountain. So this is very concerning. Even more concerning is we had a U.S. Air Force VIP plane that went to Colorado Springs and then went back to D.C., okay? So potentially dropping off a general at Cheyenne Mountain, the Doomsday Bunker, the NORAD headquarters, in case things get crazy. So our military's on high alert. Our continuity of government actions are now in place. Okay, continuity of government, if you don't know what that is, these are the mechanisms that were created under the Reagan administration by Rex 84. That was a executive order by Reagan to create a way of continuing the government after a nuclear attack. Okay, so they relocate VIPs to bunkers. They have different things in place to make sure that our government can survive a war. Okay, and we also have some major breaking news coming in from the U.S. Department of Defense. So Lloyd Austin, the defense secretary, said that they're going to be deploying another aircraft carrier to the Middle East, an additional fighter jet squadron, and additional missile defense warships. Okay, this was released yesterday by the DoD. Says here, the Department of Defense continues to take steps to mitigate the possibility of regional escalation by Iran or Iran's partners and proxies. Since the horrific Hamas attack on Israel on October 7, the Secretary of Defense has reiterated that the United States will protect our personnel and interests in the region, including our ironclad commitment to the defense of Israel. To that end, Secretary Austin has ordered adjustments to U.S. military posture designed to improve U.S. force protection, that's protecting U.S. troops, U.S. bases, to increase support for the defense of Israel, and to ensure the United States is prepared to respond to various contingencies. To maintain a carrier strike group presence in the Middle East, the Secretary has ordered the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group to replace the USS Theodore Roosevelt Strike Group currently on deployment in the Central Command Area of Responsibility. Additionally, Secretary Austin has ordered additional ballistic missile defense capable cruisers and destroyers to the U.S. European Command and U.S. Central Command regions. The department is also taking steps to increase our readiness to deploy additional land-based ballistic missile defense. Wow. So they're talking about more Patriot missile batteries, probably in Saudi Arabia and maybe in Iraq, and more Aegis warships that they can use to shoot down Iranian missiles. The Secretary has also ordered the deployment of an additional fighter squadron to the Middle East, reinforcing our defensive air support capability. These posture adjustments add to the broad range of capabilities the U.S. military maintains in the region, including the USS Wasp Amphibious Ready Group operating in the Eastern Mediterranean. So this is huge news, guys. And then here is the proposed resolution by Lindsey Graham. It says here to authorize the use of United States armed forces against the Islamic Republic of Iran for threatening the national security of the U.S. through the development of nuclear weapons. So this is absolutely huge, guys. Section 1, authorization for the use of military force against the Islamic Republic of Iran. The President is authorized to use all necessary and appropriate force against the Islamic Republic of Iran if the President determines that the Islamic Republic of Iran is in the process of possessing a nuclear weapon that threatens the national security interests of the United States, or possesses uranium enriched to weapons grade level, possesses a nuclear warhead, or possesses a delivery vehicle capable of carrying a nuclear warhead that threatens the national security interests of the United States. So this is very serious, guys. This is basically a declaration of war against Iran, okay? We have the U.S. Embassy in Beirut putting out another alert. It says here in bold letters, we encourage those who wish to depart Lebanon to book any ticket available to them, even if that flight does not depart immediately or does not follow their first choice route. Okay, so they're saying take any flight out of Beirut. It doesn't matter where it goes, even if it goes to Africa somewhere. Okay, just get out. Okay, so this is very, very serious. They say here the U.S. Embassy notes several airlines have suspended or canceled flights, and many flights have sold out. However, commercial transportation options to leave Lebanon remain available. Okay, so very serious. And then the U.S. Embassy in Israel just put out another alert here yesterday saying, due to the increase in regional tensions, the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem is continuously and closely monitoring the security situation. The U.S. Embassy reminds U.S. citizens of the continued need for caution and increased personal security awareness, including knowing the location of the nearest shelter, as security incidents, including mortar and rocket fire and unmanned aircraft system intrusions, often take place without any warning. The security environment is complex and can change quickly. Wow. Okay, so another alert from the U.S. Embassy in Lebanon and Jerusalem. The one in Lebanon telling people to leave immediately. Okay, book tickets anywhere you can find them. Okay, so this is very, very serious. And Israel has already set up shortwave radios that people can use to listen in for instructions. So here they have some of the radio stations here. They have 100.7, 92.5, 90.8, 90.5. Then they have 106.4, 93, 92.8, 106.5, 94, 89.3, 107.6, 94.7, 105.7, 104.3, and 92.1. Okay, so they're setting up FM radio stations so people can get information. We had this interesting U.S. Navy reconnaissance drone that was patrolling the coast of Lebanon here. And the USS Teddy Roosevelt, the aircraft carrier that was in the Persian Gulf, left the Persian Gulf and went to the Arabian Sea. And the reason why they did that is so they could be out of range of Iran's anti-ship missiles and any missiles that Iran could launch at the aircraft carrier. And a military transport aircraft operated by Russia's Gelix airline, known for transporting weapons and military equipment, was spotted for the first time flying from Moscow to Tehran on flight trackers yesterday. So Russia is now funneling equipment into Iran. That is very concerning, and that is biblical. Ezekiel 38 and 39. Russia and Iran and Turkey and all the Middle Eastern countries form an alliance, and they attack Israel together. And the Iranian Supreme Leader, the Ayatollah Khamenei, approved a decree transferring war powers to the president of Iran, Pezeshkian. Okay, so he officially transferred war powers to the Iranian president. That's pretty interesting. The only reason I think he would do that is if he gets assassinated. So, or he's maybe afraid that Israel could try to assassinate him. So he wants to transfer the powers to the president. And IRGC affiliated channels are claiming that the upcoming attack against Israel will be different from the one in April, stating that this attack will be multi-stage in nature and consist of a series of skirmishes that last at least 3 days. Okay, so multiple stages, several days, very concerning, guys. And an Iranian army commander stated, if the United States intervenes this time, we will target all its military bases and interests in the region. And Syrian President Bashar al-Assad has ordered his army on full combat alert for a possible war in the Golan. And medium-range Khordad 3 air defense systems were spotted in the streets of Tehran yesterday. And the Azaraksh air defense missile system was deployed to protect strategic locations in the Iranian capital of Tehran. And Iran is asking its citizens not to take pictures or videos of military equipment being moved around on roads. And we're hearing that at least one B-2 stealth bomber arrived in Qatar. It was filmed landing at the U.S. military base there by a local and placed on social media. KLM is canceling its flights to Israel until October 27th. Wow, that is insane, guys. So they're expecting a massive war in the Middle East, and that's what I think it's going to come down to. I think Israel is going to declare war on Iran after this strike. And the IRGC released a statement today saying that the assassination of Ismail Haniyeh was carried out by firing a short-range projectile with a small 7-kilogram warhead. They said the operation was designed and carried out by Israel but supported by America. And Israeli media is reporting that most flights in Israel have been canceled. Flights from Tehran to Istanbul, Turkey, have been canceled today. And Poland is advising its citizens against travel to Lebanon, Israel, or Iran. Ukraine is asking its citizens to immediately leave Israel, Iran, and Lebanon. And the Swedish embassy in Beirut has closed until further notice today, and they have completely evacuated to Cyprus. And France raised its state of alert for fear of an expected attack on Israelis in France. And an Iranian diplomat told the UN there is no point in diplomatic efforts. Orders have already been issued. And France raised its state of alert for fear of attacks on Israelis in France. And an Iranian diplomat told the United Nations that there's no point in diplomatic efforts anymore. Orders have already been issued. And he's talking about attack orders. And an anchor on Iranian state TV said yesterday that in the coming hours, the world will witness important events. Okay, so this is very concerning. And the U.S. says it doesn't know when Iran will strike. It's hard to know the timing of the Iranian strike this time. Last time we knew it because Iran wanted us to know, but this time it's different. A senior American official told the Wall Street Journal. And Israel has already started launching some preemptive strikes in Lebanon and Syria on supply depots and infrastructure of Iranian proxies and Hezbollah. Last night, there were Israeli strikes on the Lebanon-Syria border near the Syrian village of Hosh al-Said Ali. Now, remember, like 2 weeks ago or a week ago, the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov threatened Israel, saying that Israel can't continue to attack Syria without punishment. And more than a dozen security officers and staff from the guest house where Hamas leader Haniyeh stayed have been detained in Iran. They will be interrogated as part of the investigation into his assassination. This was reported by the New York Times. And Trump has announced that he will be debating Kamala Harris on Fox News in Pennsylvania on September the 4th. And Panama now recognizes the opposition candidate in Venezuela as the new president of Venezuela. And the situation in Venezuela is still the same. The opposition leader has went into hiding, and there's total chaos right now. The Maduro government is in hiding. So it does appear that Maduro is on his way out, and Venezuela is going to say goodbye to its communist history. And Russia's Morozovsk airbase was attacked directly last night by Ukraine and sustained serious damage. And at least 6 Ukrainian attack drones successfully struck a large Russian fuel storage depot in Rostov Oblast, setting several storage tanks on fire. And the UK has raised the pandemic risk assessment of the H5N1 bird flu from level 3 to level 4, and the highest is a level 6. So that's very concerning and interesting timing right before the election. And the S&P downgraded Ukraine's credit rating to selective default, and the Dow Jones dropped 2.1% this week after poor jobs data. And what you're looking at here is more reconnaissance over the Baltics and Poland. Here you can see another U.S. RQ-4 Global Hawk reconnaissance drone loitering over northeastern Poland, and then also a U.S. Navy sub-hunter that was patrolling the Baltic Sea off the coast of Poland and Lithuania. Here we have some before and after footage of the Ukrainian strike last night on the Morozovsk airfield in Russia. You can see all these plumes of smoke after they launched their strike. And then also this storage area here, possibly a munitions storage area, got hit. You can see it's completely rubbled. So we don't know if they use Storm Shadow missiles or some kind of Western cruise missiles, and maybe also attack drones as well. So this is what Russia is going to use as their excuse to launch an attack on NATO or to use nuclear weapons on Ukraine. Is they're going to say that, well, now Ukraine is using American F-16s or American missiles on NATO F-16s, and they're striking our territory now. So that justifies us to attack NATO, you know. So we have to be on high alert, because with everything going on in the Middle East, we still have the situation in Russia. Okay, Russia's doing their third phase of tactical nuclear weapons exercises right now. Poland moved 17,000 troops to the northeastern part of their country, to the Suwałki Gap. So get prepared, guys. And Poland is also building the largest defense line since World War II. And then here we have a South Korean RQ-4 Global Hawk patrolling the border of North and South Korea. We also have a tropical depression that just formed over Cuba, and it's expected to turn into a tropical storm and then make landfall over the panhandle of Florida. But that's the latest breaking news that I have. I will be back later on tonight with more updates. I will be running the live stream 24/7 this weekend. So check up on the live stream for continuous updates. Take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.